Look, I'm going to be real with you right now. If you told me 6 weeks ago that I'd be sitting here talking about the Dallas Cowboys defense as anything other than a complete dumpster fire, I would have laughed you out of the room. Like, literally. I would have thought you were pranking me or something. But here we are. And I got to admit something that's hard for me to say. This defense is no longer the get-right game for struggling teams across the league. What's up, Cowboys? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Cowboys. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the America's team. Let me paint a picture for you of what it was like before. You know those pharmacies on every corner? Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Walmart Pharmacy? That's what the Cowboys defense was. We were open 24/7 for anybody who needed to get right. Struggling quarterback? Come play the Cowboys. Get yourself 400 yards. Running back about to get benched? Don't worry. Come see Dallas. Grab yourself 200 yards on the ground. Wide receiver having the worst season of his career? Step right up. 100 yards guaranteed. We were basically handing out stats like free samples at Costco. And I'm not exaggerating here. For more than half this season, it was absolutely brutal to watch. Every single week, some team that had been struggling would come to play Dallas and suddenly look like the greatest show on the turf. It was embarrassing. It was painful. And honestly, it made me question everything about this franchise. But then, something changed. And I know exactly when it changed. It was when Quinnon Williams showed up. Now, I'm going to give credit where credit is due because this trade has absolutely transformed this defense overnight. And I remember DeMarvion Overshown talking about what Quinnon told him after that first week. Quinnon literally said, "Hey, I'm me. You gonna be fine. I'm me. They got to worry about me. So you do what you do because I'm him." And you know what? He wasn't lying. He actually backed it up. But here's where I'm going to get a little controversial because I think there's more to this story than just one player. Yeah, Quinnon Williams is absolutely a game changer. He's an A-plus player who makes everyone around him better. But let's talk about something nobody wants to admit. Matt Eberflus was getting killed all season long, and honestly, a lot of that criticism was completely justified. The man was stubborn, like ridiculously stubborn. He came in with his four-man front scheme and tried to force square pegs into round holes. He wasn't adapting to the personnel he had. He wasn't adjusting to what teams were doing to us. He was just sticking to his guns and watching this defense get torched week after week. And that's bad coaching. I don't care what anybody says. If you're a defensive coordinator and you're saying this is my defense without looking at your personnel, without looking at what the other team does, without being flexible, you're a bad coach, period. But here's the thing that's making me rethink everything because Eberflus actually changed. He went from a four-man front to a five-man front. He's playing more man defense now. He's doing things that aren't typical of Matt Eberflus things. And I got to give him credit for that, even though it kills me a little bit to say it. Because if I'm going to tear the guy up when he's being stubborn and hurting the team, I got to give him props when he adapts and makes it work. Now, let's talk about what's actually happening on the field because the numbers are pretty crazy. 45 pressures and 8 sacks over the last 3 games since they got Quinnon Williams. In the last 2 games against the Eagles and Chiefs, they held those offenses to 8 combined possessions that ended with 0 points. 0. Do you understand how insane that is? We're talking about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' offense here. Speaking of Mahomes, let me address the elephant in the room. Yeah, the Chiefs scored 28 points. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the past defense is suddenly elite or something. It's not. Patrick Mahomes was being Patrick Mahomes out there. The guy is slippery, man. It's like trying to chase a chicken around a farm or trying to hold Jell-O in your hands. You think you got him and he just slips away. He's got those duck feet running all wonky, and it's just hard to bring down a guy who moves like that. So, yeah, they gave up some plays. But after those first 14 points, they had 5 straight stops. 5! That's a different defense than what we saw earlier in the season.
And it's not just Quinnon. I don't know why nobody's really talking about Jadeveon Clowney. Yeah, the old man knocked the dust off. He's been solid against the run since he got here, knows how to get skinny and make plays. But his playtime has ticked up recently, and you've seen the production. 2 sacks yesterday, 4 for the season. And get this, he's got a $250,000 bonus if he gets the 6 sacks and the Cowboys make the playoffs. $750,000 if he gets 8 sacks and they make the playoffs. You better believe Clowney's about to go crazy trying to get that money. And the safeties coming back healthy made a huge difference too. Malik Hooker's been solid. Donovan Wilson has been making plays. And the corners are no longer a complete liability out there. And before anybody gets too excited, I'm just going to say it. We not suddenly about to become Butler Island when Josh Butler gets back. Let's pump the brakes on that one. I'm not worried about calling that out because, come on, let's be realistic here. Now, here's what really gets me excited about this defense moving forward. It's not that they're suddenly going to be the Houston Texans defense or the Eagles defense or Denver. That's not what this is about. What matters is that they're playing complementary football. They're getting stops at the right times. They're keeping the ball in the offense's hands and not forcing them to abandon the run game or completely change what they do. You got Dak playing like a dog right now. You got CeeDee Lamb showing everybody he's still elite. George Pickens came over in that trade and he's balling out. This offense is prolific. It's elite. All we needed was for the defense to not be a complete pushover, and now they're actually doing just enough to win games. And that's the key word, enough. Against Pat Mahomes and his superpowers, they gave up 28 points. Cool. That's fine because this offense can drive on whatever defense you're going to roll out against them. We just saw what Dak and this offense did to the Eagles defense. As long as we can keep running the football and getting stops on the defensive side, we're playing great complementary football. Looking ahead to Detroit and Jahmyr Gibbs, I actually feel confident now. I don't think Gibbs is going to go for 200 yards rushing against this defense. I don't think Jared Goff is going to throw the ball all over the place against us. And that's a feeling I haven't had in a long time watching this team. But let me bring up something that might upset some people. We need to have a conversation about why certain guys are playing so much. Kenneth Murray Jr. is still out there way too often. We didn't see much of Logan Wilson until late in games. These are the kinds of adjustments that still need to happen if this defense is going to be truly legit. Here's my bottom line, and this is where I might lose some of you. I said earlier in the season that if this defense could get past the Kansas City Chiefs and not get it slaughtered, I would officially say they're no longer the get-right game. Well, they did it. They went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and they showed up. They beat the Eagles and Chiefs back-to-back. You can't call them anything other than a good team at this point. Are they perfect? Absolutely not. The pass defense still has issues. There are personnel decisions that don't make sense. Eberflus is still Jerry's drinking buddy more than he is the best defensive coordinator we could have. But two things can be true at the same time. He was stubborn and deserved criticism early on, and he's adapted and deserves credit now. This whole turnaround happened because of a few key things. Quinnon Williams showing up and being him, Logan Wilson getting integrated, DeMarvion Overshown coming back, the safeties getting healthy, and yes, Eberflus finally being willing to change his scheme to fit his players. We're not the 29th ranked defense anymore. Yeah, you heard that right. Early in the season, we literally ranked them 29th. There's only 32 teams in the league, and we had them ranked 39th. That's how bad they were. But now, they're actually giving this team a chance to win. The trajectory of this entire season changed with these moves. There's a path to righteousness now. We can go against these elite teams and get stops on defense while letting the offense do what it does best. Run the ball, throw the CD, run plays with George Pickens, and let Dak cook. All we're missing now is a punt return or a kickoff return for a touchdown to get all three phases of the game clicking. But honestly, I'll take what we got right now. This defense went from being the biggest liability on the team to just being good enough to win. And in the NFL, sometimes just good enough is all you need when you got an offense this talented. So yeah, I'm officially saying it. The Dallas Cowboys are no longer the get-right defense. They're not elite, but they're no longer a joke. And after what we've been through this season, I'll take it. The days before Quinnon, what I'm calling BQ, those were bleak times in Cowboys land. But after this acquisition, after getting healthy, after Eberflus finally pulled his head out and adapted, things are looking better. And that's all we ever asked for.